The last communication I had with her was via text message that was in May, asking if she was going to attend my grandson, her nephew's graduation in Yazoo City, Mississippi. And she said yes, but she was a no-show.
A mother, wife, and nurse missing for 2 months before anyone reports her disappearance. And tonight, law enforcement asking for your help in finding her.
We were weeks and weeks behind. We had to quickly go back and retrace her steps. We do have a person of interest that we're not going to name at this time.
I said, well, how did she leave? Well, I mean, so you mean to tell me she just got her bags and walked out the door, walked down the street?
I said, why haven't you called the police? Why haven't you contacted me? I'm a mother. Why haven't you reached out? Why didn't you just, why wait this long?
My auntie wouldn't want us suffering like this. It's been all over the news everywhere. My auntie would have been reached out. So with that being said, my hope is gone.
This afternoon, her family made an emotional plea to find her.
No, my daughter's not missing. My daughter is dead somewhere. Give me back my daughter so I can give her a proper burial. Frustrated because so much time has gone by, and there may be some things that might be gone now or just not there.
I know I'll never be able to, not stop thinking about it, but I would tell, if you're going through the same thing we're going through, just to stay busy, have faith, and don't give up.
They now say Taquila Hayes is most likely not missing, but murdered, and her husband is at the center of the case.
But authorities think she was killed at least 2 months earlier. Hayes, they say, sent text messages to Taquila's family pretending to be his wife. When he was arrested in February 2020, investigators had no crime scene, no body. Searches based on tips came up empty.
And the Shelby County Sheriff's Office still considers this a missing persons case, even though the warrant refers to it as a criminal homicide.
I'm always looking, when I'm driving down country roads, I'm always looking in ditches. I'm getting out walking, going into woods. I'm looking over bridges. Just everywhere I go, I'm looking. I'm constantly looking. I want to know what happened to her. Maybe somebody might know something. Maybe her husband might have said something to somebody.
Taquila Hayes was born on February 22, 1978, and was last known to live in Cordova, Tennessee. Family and friends describe her as a beautiful and outgoing woman with a heart of gold. Anytime you saw her, you were followed by a bright smile.
Beautiful person, inside and out. She loved people. Of course, she's a nurse. She loved helping people.
She was the best big sister, a person could ever ask for.
My family loves to eat. We love gathering. She loved macaroni cheese, fried chicken.
Times like this, we get together and we talk about things when we were smaller. Growing up, our favorite music. She loved old school music.
She was always there for everyone, supporting and helping in any way she could. This was helpful in her career, being that she had a passion for nursing and was highly respected by her peers in the medical profession. She worked as a nurse for many years at Methodist University Hospital. It is one of the biggest hospitals in Memphis, Tennessee. When she was not working, she was busy at home being a wife and a mother. Taquila shared a son with her husband, Carl Hayes. They had many memories together as a family.
I can look in his eyes, and he has the same loving, deep look as his mother. He can laugh, and he sounds like his mother.
They lived in a beautiful neighborhood and in a gorgeous home. They would enjoy playing together and going to local NBA games. Taquila was seen on the outside to everyone as a wife in a happy and loving marriage, being that she was very devoted to her husband. However, the couple had a treacherous relationship dating back to 2012 that remained hidden from many. According to reports, Carl and Taquila's marriage had been sometimes troubled. In 2012, she filed a domestic violence report against him. In the report, she stated they were separated at the time, and when they met to talk about their son, she claims they argued because he did not want to go through a divorce. She also claims that day he slapped her and choked her until she was able to get away. Current documents shared infidelity may have also been an issue in their marriage. Unfortunately, no one knows exactly what she suffered throughout her years of marriage, yet many are curious about what became of the couple after she disappeared without a trace.
A case of domestic violence involving the missing woman's husband. The couple had a rocky past.
Katina, that's right. According to a police report from 2012, Hayes called police against her husband. She said he hit her and tried to choke her. In the report, she was trying to leave him, but her family doubts that's what happened this time because she left her car, phone, and son behind.
In addition to this, her husband became entangled in a web of lies concerning her whereabouts.
You lied. I kept asking about her. You lied. And I went on to proceed. And I asked him, I said, Carl, when the last time you seen my sister? And he stated, the first week in June.
I said, why haven't you called the police? Why haven't you contacted me? I'm a mother. Why haven't you reached out? Why didn't you just, why wait this long? My intuitions are telling me that he has done something bad.
May 20th, 2019, it seemed like a normal day for everyone. Taquila clocked in at the Methodist University Hospital and worked her entire shift. But after that day, her physical activity became limited to none. She didn't show up at her nephew's graduation in Mississippi and didn't contact her young son on his birthday. When she didn't show up for her next day at the hospital, her supervisor texted her multiple times but got no response. When she texted again, saying she would call the police for a wellness check, she finally got a call back, but not Taquila. It was Carl on the other end of the line. She claimed Carl told her she wouldn't be returning to work, and when the supervisor asked multiple times to speak to his wife, he refused. Though her family was constantly contacting her, they were only receiving responses via text. But months after several failed attempts to talk to her on the phone or physically seeing her failed, they grew very suspicious. Unfortunately, the supervisor did not contact the police that early May, nor did she follow up with any family. Although the last day Taquila was seen was May 21st, 2019, Taquila wasn't reported missing until August 9th by her mother. Her mother claims Carl told her the couple had separated in early June, something he was embarrassed to tell the family. He said after that she had left the house with an unknown friend, something like a stranger, around June 8th and quit her job as a nurse at Methodist. After Taquila's mother heard this story, she knew it didn't match her daughter's behavior, so she filed a missing report with the local police.
A mother, wife, and nurse missing for 2 months before anyone reports her disappearance. And tonight, law enforcement asking for your help in finding her.
Well, Katina, Taquila Hayes' mother was the one who told investigators on Friday that her daughter's been missing for more than 2 months. She's hoping for the best, but fearing the worst. I attempted to ask Hayes' husband for a comment, but he did not answer the door. Nuttall says he told her she left in a white car and left her own car and phone behind. However, Hayes' niece received a message from her aunt in July, but the message did not at all sound like her aunt.
Because sweetheart with a lot of emojis, that's not her at all.
They became suspicious when she missed her son's birthday in August and his first day of school, something that she wouldn't do.
And on that same day she was reported missing, Carl was interviewed by detectives. Carl told investigators the couple had separated in early June over infidelity issues, admitting to officers that since her disappearance, he had accessed her cell phone, switched the SIM card and had pretended to be her when speaking to other people. Carl said his wife left her belongings behind, including her mobile phone and vehicle. His statement raised many concerns for the detectives, causing them to look deeper into his whereabouts over the last few months. When detectives did an initial look around the house the day she was reported missing, they noticed she had no belongings in the house.
Join the case of a Cordova mom not seen for months. Family of Taquila Hayes says her husband hasn't seen her since June 8th, even though she wasn't reported missing by her mother until 2 months after that. Today, investigators showed up to search Hayes' Cordova home.
Richard, both Sheriff's Office detectives and TBI agents arrived here this morning and may still remain here at this hour. A couple of minutes ago, I saw several TBI agents loading several flat items wrapped in paper into that investigation van. I've also seen them take fingerprints and tow a car off this property as investigators work to get that needed breakthrough in this missing woman case.
And if she's been missing since August, I hope and pray that somebody finds her or at least brings something to closure to let the family know what happened. Let's hope for the best, and that's that they could find her somewhere not in the field, but somewhere where she was okay.
Carl said he had thrown away anything left that was hers. When investigators asked to look around the home, they saw what looked like to be a new carpet in the living room, dining room, master bedroom, as well as new paint. When asked about the new carpet, Carl said he made the change so he wouldn't lose his deposit on the property. When deputies looked into Taquila's car, they saw what looked like to be new carpet as well. Carl told them he cleaned it out, and after that, detectives left. But 2 weeks later, they came back for another search. The warrant allowed them to search for firearms, firearm accessories, ammunition, computers, computer storage hardware, electronic devices, cell phones, DNA, clothing, weapons, and any other evidence that could be found on the property as needed in a crime of a criminal homicide. Detectives also checked bank records. Video footage from multiple region banks showed Carl withdrawing money from Taquila's accounts, including one for $800 on May 22nd, the day after she was a no-show for work. Investigators said more than $4,000 was taken from her accounts. While Carl told investigators he last saw his wife in June leaving the home in a white car with a stranger, that is not believed to be true.
Richard, this afternoon, TBI agents took Taquila Hayes' car and a few belongings from her house, but it's unclear what those items were. This afternoon, her family made an emotional plea to find her.
I said, well, I have a question for you. I said, did you kill my daughter, or did you cause any bodily harm to her? And that's when he replied, if I didn't kill her, who killed her? I just don't have any hope after everything that I've been gathering, everything that I've listened to. I don't believe my daughter is alive.
He could have done a lot of things, so hopefully the people with them doing the search, they got something, anything. My auntie wouldn't want us suffering like this. It's been all over the news everywhere. My auntie would have been reached out. So with that being said, my hope is gone.
Just give me back my daughter so I can give her a proper burial.
I just want everybody to know that, we would have done something sooner if he wouldn't have lied. He was still placing my sister in that house. For whatever reason, I don't know.
Authorities believe she disappeared sometime between May 21st and her husband may be involved. But at the time, they did not have enough evidence to charge him with anything relating to her disappearance. As soon as Taquila's family learned that she hadn't been at her Cordova home since early June, they put up flyers around the neighborhood. The family hoped searching surrounding neighborhoods and talking to people in the area might jog someone's memory. More than 60 deputies and volunteers spent hours in the area around her home looking for clues from August to September. On August 19, 2019, during a news conference, the police said they didn't believe she was in the area anymore, but didn't have any evidence to confirm she is alive. Officers also said they have a person of interest in the case, but would not release any further details.
Y'all ready? Good afternoon. My name is Chief Inspector Chris Harris. I am the Divisional Chief for the Detective Division of the Sheriff's Office. We wanted to update the media and the public with where we're at with the Taquila Hayes missing persons case. As you're aware, the Sheriff's Office began an investigation into the missing person of Taquila Hayes back in August. Since then, we have continued to take investigative measures. I know at some point there was some question about missing person versus something that was written affidavit about a criminal homicide. At this point, what we can tell you, and first let me introduce, this is the officers, the detectives that are working the case with us. What we would like to tell you is, at this point in time, we have done several things, several investigative measures to include, we executed a search warrant at the last known resident on Starcross Cove of Ms. Hayes. Currently, we have evidence that is being tested at TBI. We additionally did a search in the immediate area of the wooded area, logical area to search. We did not find anything in that area. We have not found anything or have heard from anyone that would suggest that Ms. Hayes is in the area or alive or well. At this point in time, we only know what the evidence has told us, and it's currently at TBI being tested. We do have a person of interest that we're not going to name at this time. We are encouraging, if anybody does have information, to please reach out to the Sheriff's Office. They can contact our office at 222-5600, or they can contact Crime Stoppers. With that, I'll take any questions.
How difficult is it, getting your hands on this case when she really hasn't been seen since the end of May?
It's very difficult. So we were weeks and weeks behind. We had to quickly go back and retrace her steps. That included searching businesses, video, scouring cell phone records, financial records. And so that is a problem for us. But we are progressing with the case.
What switched it over from a missing persons case to something where you believe that she's no longer alive and well in the area?
At this time, we have not found anything that would suggest that she is in the area, that she's alive. We don't know. No new cell phone records, no financials. There's nothing that suggests. It's basically, she's gone. We don't know where.
Can you talk a little bit about your communication with her husband?
We have talked with him several weeks ago. We have not had much communications with him as of recently.
Was he cooperating? Is he a suspect?
Is he cooperating? We have not spoke with him in several weeks. We are going after what the evidence tells us. We're following the science, and we are waiting for TBI to give us the results.
So is he a suspect?
We do have a person of interest we're not going to name.
Was it alarming going into the home and noticing the new carpet and new paint on the walls?
That was part of what led us to execute the search warrant. That was part of why we went to the house to look for trace evidence.
Last question?
So you're just basically waiting for TBI to give you that?
We still have things that we're waiting on. We still have financials. We still have evidence, trace evidence that TBI is actively.
What is it? What is that trace evidence?
There were numerous items taken, forensic evidence. It could be DNA. It could be all kinds of things that we don't know the results of those yet.
When do you expect those results back?
We hope within the next few weeks, is what we were told.
Has the family said anything to lead that Mr. Hayes might be guilty?
No.
What about your conversation with her family? What are they saying?
Her family is, obviously, we've been in touch with them on a daily basis. They do hold out hope, obviously, as we do, that she'll be found. But we communicate with them, and our concern and their concern is the child right now, and making sure that he continues to get the support he needs, and that's our concern as well.
Thank you all so much. If you have any additional questions, please email the Public Information Office. Thank you.
Nonetheless, Taquila's family continued to join together for search parties, but unfortunately, nothing came of them. Even when the searches broadened, she was still nowhere to be found.
It does not matter to us how small or insignificant the person may believe that the tip is. Allow us an opportunity to weigh that information out. I've said in previous interviews that we are not going to leave any stone unturned. So this is just another leg in this investigation.
Captain, can you give us an idea of the efforts that you guys have out here? Lots of folks, but what exactly are you guys doing?
So we have, again, more than 60 members of our office and volunteers out here this morning searching this area. They're doing ground search. We have search dogs out looking for any clues, any kind of information that would help us in this investigation. We're going to scrutinize that evidence so that information is as heavily as possible.
In February 2020, 6 months after Taquila's mother reported her daughter missing, Carl Hayes was arrested at the juvenile court building at a custody hearing. A search warrant in September stated that investigators believe Carl was directly involved in the disappearance of his wife, noting fresh paint and new carpet in the home, draining her bank accounts prompted them to search the house and target her husband as a person of interest. Carl was indicted by a grand jury and charged with second-degree murder and tampering with evidence. Although his bond was reduced, it was initially set at $2 million.
Missing mother, Taquila Hayes, might be one step closer to finding closure more than 6 months after her disappearance. Today, Hayes' husband, Carl Hayes, was arrested for second-degree murder and tampering with evidence in her presumed death.
I said, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. He's where he needs to be. My daughter, Taquila, she wouldn't have never given up on me. I want him to just man up, give me her body so I can give my daughter a proper burial. Like I said, if God had to give this battle to me, he gave it to the right one, because I'm going to fight until the end. When the judge hits the table and say guilty, that's when justice will be served.
The wheels of justice is turning slowly. Unfortunately, Carl's case has been pushed back to a later date several times over the years. However, on August 4th, 2023, 3 years after being behind bars, Carl pleaded guilty to the charges in court, shocking her family by his choice. However, he will not tell what he did or where she is exactly, but now Carl will spend more than 20 years in a state prison, according to court records.
Taquila Hayes' mom, Roberta, told me that the family had no idea of the history of domestic violence in her daughter's marriage. They say they were absolutely stunned that her husband Carl today pled guilty to murder. They are equally stunned that he refuses to tell her loved ones what he did with Taquila's body.
It weighs very heavy on my heart, because then I just want closure. I forgive him. I have to, for my sanity, for myself, my spirituality.
What Roberta can't understand is why Hayes won't tell anyone where Taquila's remains are located. She was reported missing in May 2019, but authorities think she was killed at least 2 months earlier. Hayes, they say, sent text messages to Taquila's family pretending to be his wife. When he was arrested in February 2020, investigators had no crime scene, no body. Searches based on tips came up empty.
It's still something that haunts us, but haunts investigators, haunts the family.
Prosecutor Paul Hagerman believes Hayes pled guilty for one reason.
Not wanting to put the 15-year-old son through what was going to be a hard trial. He was going to testify against his father. He was going to testify truthfully, and he had information that was going to hurt his father.
Roberta is now raising her grandson. He has no contact with his father, gets good grades in school, and just got his driver's license.
He's my priority, and I try to make sure that I protect and try to take care of him the best that I know how. The investigation is still open on where my daughter, remains could be, and they're not going to stop looking at it. I'm not going to stop looking. If anybody know anything, I want that closure. I'm praying for that closure.
As of November 2023, Taquila Hayes' body has not been found. The Shelby County Sheriff's Office is still treating this incident as a missing persons case. Anyone with information should contact their local authorities.
We've not heard anything from her. She was a living, breathing human being, beautiful person, inside and out. I don't want my daughter's story to be forgotten. I don't want her to be forgotten. I'm always looking, when I'm driving down country roads, I'm always looking in ditches. I'm getting out walking, going into woods. I'm looking over bridges. I'm just everywhere I go, I'm looking. I'm constantly looking. I want to know what happened to her. Maybe somebody might know something. Maybe her husband might have said something to somebody.